Today I thought I would compare the new Mothership 10 Moonlit Seduction against a couple of other palettes in my collection that you guys seem really interested in seeing kind of the swatch comparisons. Is it dupeable? How close it is? Because there has been a few comments, and also I can see the similarities between like this one and say like Huda Beauty Rose Quartz or Natasha Denona Retro, that kind of jam. So I thought I'd just go through my collection and pull any palettes that potentially might have dupes or similarities between them and Moonlit Seduction and swatch them out for you guys so that you can make the best decision for yourself as to whether or not you will pick up Mothership 10. So we're going to go to desk format and get into all of the goodness of swatching and hopefully have a good old time. Now before we do, let's go ahead and do the YouTubey things. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let's get into it. So this is Pat McGrath Labs Mothership 10 Moonlit Seduction. She is a beauty. She's honestly one of my favorite motherships. I love her. The color story just feels like it was for me. Now, I already have about 3 videos. So I have my review of this palette. I have a video comparing this palette with every single other Pat McGrath Labs palette I own in my collection, which is a lot. And then I also have a 5 looks, 1 palette using this. So I'm going to link those down below for you if you're interested. But I've had a lot of comments or questions asking me to compare this to other shades in my collection. And one of you suggested an awesome idea to create a short, but then I just thought I'll just quickly make this video because it honestly, I don't think it'll take too long. So it probably won't be as in depth as my other one of this type of style, but it will hopefully at least show you guys kind of the differences. Now, a couple of other quick little housekeeping things. I got a brand new camera and hopefully, if I've got this right, it's in 4K and it's okay. But if the quality is a bit off, I apologize. Bear with me, I'm working through it, and let's all hope for the best. Shall we? Okay, I'm gonna insert right now a picture of this palette just on its own so that you can see what these swatches are, just to kind of familiarize yourself with it again, and then we'll get into the other palettes. So the biggest palette that you guys have been asking to see this against is the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette, and I feel like you can see a lot of the differences right here. They aren't really too similar to each other. However, what I'm going to do is I'm also going to insert a picture of this palette completely swatched out on my arm versus this one so that you can compare them. So that's going to come up right now as well. And then now let's just have a look at any potential similar shades. So I believe this shade right here was one that you guys wanted to see. So the silver, I could be wrong. So this was the silver shade, I think Platinum Dusk off the top of my head, from the Pat McGrath palette. And then I feel like my white balance is a little bit off, so I apologize if that is the case. And then I believe it was this shade from Rose Quartz that you guys wanted to see compared against it. So that is them there. They're quite different. Platinum Dusk is quite gunmetal, whereas this has like almost that kind of purpley sheen to it. Same but different. And then I think the other one would be this one, which is VR Sextasy. Honestly, just incredible, right? Like every time I pick it up and swatch it, I'm like, oh my god, you're amazing. You're amazing. And then against, I don't know what's going on today, you guys. This is my 3rd video I've filmed because I've got a busy week coming up and I'm not going to be able to. So this is the Blissful shade in Rose Quartz, and my god, if they're not the same, but damn, they're similar. It's like the undertone of VR Sextasy here is different. Like the base shade of VR Sextasy is almost like this like reddy brown shade, whereas like the base tone of Blissful is like this real soft taupe, but the actual like pearl is so similar, although on camera when the light's hitting this one it looks almost like greeny, whereas this looks like silvery. But in person, apart from the undertones, they look exactly the same. Like the pearls, I should say, not the undertones, but that's pretty close. That is pretty close. That's the closest I've seen to VR Sextasy out of all my palettes by far. I think that's kind of it from Rose Quartz, really. I mean, you have this kind of like matte which potentially would look like this one. I mean, they're pretty similar, right? I think this one would be too dark. Yeah, but those two are pretty similar. This has like a purple tone to it. It probably looks quite, maybe not. Yeah, you know what, you guys? Touche. Rose quartz is a lot more similar than you think, huh? So I think that kind of explains the differences between the Moonlit Seduction and rose quartz. Let's have a look at retro next. Again, I'm going to insert pictures right now of the retro palettes swatched against Moonlit Seduction, and I will add in rose quartz as well, just so you can see the differences. I think with rose quartz, you can really see that in terms of metallics, apart from maybe platinum dusk versus this one maybe, they're different. I know even on camera, they probably don't look as different as they actually are, but this is more, again, that true like gunmetal, like steel, whereas this has a very distinct purple undertone when you compare them, so they are different. I mean, maybe that's same enough for you, but that's very different to me. But I don't actually think any of the other shades really in this retro palette are close to Moonlit Seduction. I can see the similarity between this one and this one, but like, I think they'll be more different than you think. Maybe not, maybe Amara's quite similar actually. I mean, it's a bit darker and a bit different, but again, maybe that's same enough for you. I don't think any of the other metallics really match though, because this will be way too pink, see? Like you can even just see from there, right? Very different. I thought I would also compare the pinks with the pinks in the Major Dimension 2 palette from Patrick Tar. So, because obviously there's this shade right here in the Moonlit Seduction, but this is honestly more like a rose gold than like a pink. But then you've got these ones. Actually, that one's not too dissimilar from Patrick Tar. And then let's try this one. Yeah, that one's too, oh, that's such a pretty shade. So they're the two pink, like these two pinky shades from Patrick Tar versus the pink shade in Moonlit Seduction, although honestly this is more like rose gold. Very pretty. Oh, I just love swatching metallics. So that was the Major Dimensions 2. Let's have a look at Glam. Oh, something just fell apart in Glam. This might be where we might find a dupe for that Platinum Dusk shade, which if you ask me, this Platinum Dusk shade is the best shade in this palette. I should have just kept this swatched on my hand and then what, like, anyway, you know what I'm trying to say there, right? Let's try this one. See, that's the closest, but it's more brown. This one's more gray. Guess maybe this one. Yeah, see, that one's too silver. And then this is so awkward. Let's try this one. Yeah, that's like a brown. Yeah, nothing's the same as this. This is really unique, this Platinum Dusk shade. You wouldn't think it is, but it really is. I know it might not pick up on camera. I feel like on camera these two are looking the same, but they're like, if you could see this in real life, honestly, they are so different. And I know it probably feels like it's like that 50 Shades of Grey, but honestly, they're super different in real life. But maybe similar enough for you if you're wanting to compare like what you have in your collection against Moonlit Seduction. Maybe this shade. I mean, this is probably more of a true bronze. Let's just see compared to. This one in real life is more goldy looking. So probably not those. This one and this one might be the closest dupes out of all of them. No. Interesting. Okay, so that is Glam. I feel like I don't need to swatch all of Glam because I feel like you can see they are different. I wanted to just compare the special shades in here, these kind of goldy ones against this one. So let me just swatch. Oh God, even the feeling of this gold shade is insane. God, this is my favorite shade as well. This is stunning. So I'm just gonna swatch this. This shade is incredible. I just want to bathe in it all over. Actually, this one's my favorite than Platinum Dusk. But I wanted to compare it just to these two because these formulas from Natasha are really beautiful as well. So that one's definitely, but that one might match this one. I don't know. Or maybe even, let's try this one. So that's, no. No. Interesting. Okay, so I think that might be it for the palettes in my collection that are kind of like same but different. So hopefully that's kind of given you a good idea of whether or not this palette would bring something unique to your collection or not, or, you know, compared to kind of like that Huda Beauty Rose Quartz or Retro and all that jazz. Hopefully it's given you more insight into that and you found it helpful. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I'd be super interested to hear from you guys and your thoughts. And if you're watching till this point, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. If you haven't already, please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. It truly helps my channel out. We are so close to 6K, so thank you so much. Other than that, I hope that you have an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye.